Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We're finally going to get that Boxster review in today. It's a beautiful fall day here in Iowa. It's been about a year and a half since we picked this up and I never did a proper review on it. So this is a 2014 base model. We'll take you for a quick walk around here and then we'll go for a drive. Alright guys, so here it is. Like I said, 2014 base. So it's got the 2.7 liter flat six. Nothing too crazy, but to enjoy a Boxster you do not need anything special. Just the base model will do. This one's pretty much stock. The only thing we did do a few videos back is we installed a Werks exhaust on this. It was a pain in the butt. If you want to see that video install, check the link in the description. Have some exhaust clips in there and all that good stuff. But yeah, this one just has that nice red color. I always think red fits nicely on Porsches. Some cars it doesn't look so good, but yeah, the black wheels kind of go well with the whole scheme. But like I said, we've got this about a year and a half ago in the spring of 21. It had 50,000 miles on it when we got it. We have 54 on it now, so we put about 4,000 miles on it in a year and a half. And had no issues. Runs very well. Only thing we've done to it is change the oil and drive it. But let's go ahead and hop in here and we'll go for a spin. Alright guys, time for the cruise in the Boxster. Like I said, this is a 2014 base model, 2.7 liter flat six, so we're right at 265 horsepower, 206 foot-pounds of torque. It's not quite the S numbers, but I had an S 2 years ago, so I can compare them well. And honestly, if you're just doing a lot of cruising or in-town driving and you're not really going to track the car, I think the base is fine. It has plenty of power, especially when you're coming into this car. It's only 2,900 pounds, so it's a really lightweight sports car. And then you've got the mid-engine, so it handles so well. It just has everything going for it. Like a big go-kart. Handles insanely well. So 265 horsepower is plenty of power for this lightweight vehicle. And honestly, you can give it everything it has and not feel like you're on the edge at all. I mean, this thing is so solid and so well balanced that you can pretty much go into the corners at any speed you dare. So definitely an awesome sports car. This is the 981 generation, as most of you probably know. I have not test driven the older generation. Actually, I take that back. I did test drive a 987 Cayman, but not a Boxster. But I have not test driven the older 986s. But I would assume they are similar, less power, still that great balance, but just a little dated. So I think the 981's the sweet spot. I'm sure the 718 generation is just as good, has quite a bit of power with that turbo 4-cylinder, but they just don't sound the same. So I think if you really want to go for that genuine Porsche flat six, then the 981's probably a good choice. It is nice to see that they're putting the 6-cylinder back in, like the GT4s and the GTS 4.0s. You can get that 4.06, but someday I will be on that GT4 RS train, because that is like my dream spec. No one thought they would ever do it, put that beautiful GT3 engine in the Cayman platform, but they did it. And it's going to be awesome if you can get your hands on one. But for now, we're going to enjoy this Boxster. But man, do they sound good. You can open it up, downshift through that PDK dual clutch, which is phenomenal. That's what sold me into Porsches when I drove the dual clutch. They're just so lightning fast. So let's go through some gears here and listen to this thing sing. But for the price, so this is a 2014. If you're looking in the base Boxster area, in this market, you're probably at least in the mid 35s, you know, closer to 40,000 to get a decent one. Then if you're looking in the S line, you're probably in the 40s and closer to 50 right now. Back 2 years ago when I had my S, it was the other way around. I mean, you could probably get a base like low 30s, upper 20s maybe with higher miles. And then my S that I sold in the fall of 2020, sold it for $39,000. So that just kind of goes to show you what the market is these days. So they may come back down, but they may not, because the 981 is such a good generation, and the last generation that you could get a base model flat six. So if you're in the sports car market, especially if you want the top to be down, the Boxster's definitely got to be high on your list. If you haven't test drove one, you should definitely give it a test drive. Maybe you shouldn't, because if you do test drive one, you'll probably be buying one. When I test drove a base Cayman, my first Porsche I ever drove, but I was hooked. That's probably why I'll continue to keep this one, because they're just such a fun, well-rounded car. And I never knew a six-cylinder could sound this good till it drove a Porsche. Oh yeah. But what other cars would you be in the market for if you're looking at a Boxster? You probably looked at Miatas. Maybe you'd looked at the Toyota 86, potentially. Maybe the Z4 BMWs. I did test drive a BMW Z4 when I was in the market for the Boxster S, and it was a night and day difference. Once I test drove the Z4 after I had already test driven the Boxster, is like hands down, I knew where I was going. The Z4 is more of a cruiser, touring car maybe, if you will. Porsche does the touring just as good, but it can also be a sports car and a track car. Not saying that BMW can't be a track car, but mid-engine, the suspension and handling on this thing from the factory. Throw a good set of tires on there and head to the track. And I guess you'd probably, if you were shopping a new Boxster, you'd probably throw the Corvette and the convertible model in there. But to get a base Corvette C8, you're close to 80 grand after a couple options, even if you went with the 1LT trim. So I'd still say for the used market, I'd definitely rather have a Boxster than an older Corvette convertible. That was 7,800 RPM, guys. Oh man, it sings. the Boxster because I own one, but I think if you drive one, you'll definitely get the itch to own a Porsche, because I never thought I'd be a Boxster guy, honestly. You know, you think about it, it's like the baby brother to the 911, but it's so good. In my opinion, it is better than a 911. And that's coming from, I had the GT3, come on guys, I'm basing it on that. Is that good of a car? I'm not saying it's better than a GT3, but I'm saying it's that good that I still own a Boxster. And it's the longest tenured car in my garage right now. A year and a half. That's long for me. If you've been part of the channel for a while, you know how many cars we go through. So right now, the Boxster is like a staple in the garage, and I don't see it going anywhere unless there's like a crazy deal on a supercar that I need the extra money. That'd be the only way this thing goes away. Well guys, it's another review video in the books, I think, here. I thank you guys for tuning in. Sorry it took a year and a half to get a Boxster review in. If you got any questions for me about the Boxster, shoot me a comment down below. But we have a few more videos lined up here. We'll be doing a 1-year ownership review of the Bronco. We bought that 1 year ago here next week, so we've had it for a whole year, so we'll give you a little update on the Bronco. And then I do believe we're going to be getting the ProFlex Commander ethanol kit for the GT350R. So we'll get that ordered up and do a little install video on that. Should be pretty cool. We can put E85 in there and get an extra 50 horse or so out of a naturally aspirated engine. That's like turbo tune power. So thanks for tuning in again, guys. Give this a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. Have a good one.